Who are you? I don't know, but I'm writing to you anyway. Where are you? How far in the future? Where'd you find my journal? I may never know, but you can know me from what I put down on these pages. I come from a little village in the mountains. No one has left here since before I was born. But our lives changed overnight, just a few days ago when my best friend had a prophetic dream. A vision that the elder said means this season is going to end soon. The world is about to enter a new era. A great change is coming. Everyone was afraid. I was surrounded by questions and I began to feel how little I know. What is this season that is about to end, and why is it ending? What exactly is out there that could turn the world inside out? If there are still voices singing and laughing in the wilderness, I could record them before they're gone. I also thought of my dad, who always wanted to see the outside world but never did. So, I asked if I could leave. The elder had one condition for letting me go: that I take what I collect to the museum vault, a palace of art and memory at the edge of the earth. She says it's the only place safe from the turmoil of a changing season. I hope that's where you're reading this now. I can't stop the change that is coming, but this time on Earth could live on in these pages. What it looks like, sounds like, how it feels to be alive right now. I'm writing to you at the crack of dawn on the morning I leave home. I can smell breakfast cooking in the other room, and I can hear my mom's voice.
Okay. So now that we have control, you can look at all of the things that you want to look at. This is the weirdest doll. Listen to this.
3, 2,
It's so weird.
1. Hooray! Mr. Lotto's here. I'm tired.
Anyway, take a look at all these things because you're going to want to know at least what some of them are, because we're going to be selecting some stuff in a little bit. So there's a book. Catalog of Strangers is an introduction to the more frightful aspects of this world. A reasonable amount of fear and fun makes for prudent children. Old bill. The owl spreads her wings over prosperity. This bill is worth 10 poems. The prismatic treasury. Night life in the plaza. 801. I went out for a climb, be back this evening. So take your time in investigating stuff in the room. And then we'll go talk to Mom. Now you only have an option to choose one of these, and then they're gone forever.
You're up. It's gonna be a beautiful morning. I'm making progress. I found the burner, camera, recorder, travel bag. Breakfast is in progress. Still gotta make a pendant.
That's what we're gonna select things for, is the pendant.
We haven't used this in so long. Good thing I saved the instructions. Just as you would use a shield to protect your body, an identity pendant protects your mind. Your thoughts, memories, everything that makes you, you. We don't wear them here in the village anymore. But if you're going into the outside world, I'll feel better when you've got a pendant shielding you. Diseases of the mind, like the dream sickness. We don't know what caused it. We heard people suddenly fell into an eternal sleep. These were years of wild rumors, and half of them turned out to be true. In times of war, a pendant can be used to identify a body. Let's skip that part. Objects have two layers, the physical and the mental. The pendant needs to absorb both. 1. Collect a sentimental object for each sense: sound, smell, feel, sight, taste. 2. Feel the sense and speak aloud a memory of the object. 3. Feed the object into the burner. The memory will leave the speaker as it is transferred to the pendant. That means I'll forget the memory after I say it. It's supposed to be painless, at least. No, you must remember everything. That's your role.
Okay.
The pendant needs this little sacrifice. I want to be sure it works. Don't be afraid. A few memories is a small price to pay for knowing you'll be safe. Okay, so this old tape should work for our sense of sound. I remember you and I fell asleep listening to this tape. Your dad came home. We all rested together until it got dark. What an odd feeling. Like an absence, disappearing. The empty space fills itself back in until I forget that I forgot anything at all. I'm glad I'm only losing a few memories. If I lost too many, I wouldn't even know who you are. You should pick the rest of the objects. I'll lose the memories, but you'll have them in the pendant forever. So they should be important to you. They should be parts of your identity you want to be sure to protect. So think about what these items and what the memories would preserve about you. Let's do smell next. Find an object with a strong odor and that holds a piece of you.
Okay, there are a bunch of different things that you can choose from, and each option will have like
Honey,
a sense of smell,
wax,
like honey
baby,
kind of thing.
waves. I was loved by people I have no memory of.
So you can just select it, and every once in a while when you pick something, Mom will ask
What
you
did
to
you
choose
choose for
something
smell?
else because it holds too powerful of a memory for her that she doesn't want to lose.
Let's breathe in deep. This kind of candle keeps someone alive for the time it takes to burn. Just a few hours when death is nearby. It can be enough for last rites, last words. This was Grandma's candle. She didn't want to use it. You spent a lot of time with her when you were a baby. I realized she wouldn't live long enough for you to remember her, or for her to see you grow up and discover what kind of person you'd be. So in a way, you don't know her, and she didn't know you. And yet, she loved you. I don't know where love goes, but it belongs to you anyway. Now touch. Pick something with a texture you like.
This one I chose the soft
Fabric,
dog.
skin, plush, limbs.
Plush.
This speaks to how my dad loved me.
Select that.
So what did you end up choosing? Okay, feel the object. I remember. You used to take him everywhere with you. One night, you forgot him in the plaza. It was cold and rainy that night, but your dad leaped into action as if the doll was a real member of the family.
How dare you, Mom? Of course the doll's a real member
I have
of the
this
family.
image of his face as he ran out into the storm, completely serious, no hesitation. And when your dad returned with the doll, I forgot for a moment that he's just fabric, stitched into the form of an animal. It felt as if he had a soul, because you'd projected one into him. What was dear to you was dear to us. That was... we were whole. For a little while. I'm fine. Let's do sight next. Pick something that looks nice.
Dad by my hand. I remember who my dad was.
So, what did you end up choosing? I remember your dad sitting a long time while you did this portrait of him. But you spent most of the time erasing, getting it down to fewer and fewer details. He's been gone for years now. And yet, when I look at these lines, I remember what he was like around the house. The way he moved, danced, and laughed. You really captured him, his way of being, his soul. What is a force in the world that makes everything go away? How could a few lines on a scrap of paper resist it? For how long? You were so young when you learned that the love in our lives is not constant. People are never replaced. They just go. We see them in these lines until the lines go too. For taste, we can eat breakfast and feed some to the burner. The memory I'll lose is the one we're forming right now. I want you to have it forever. Standing here, you're having a last taste of home. Now you're protected by lost memories. A gem of home around your neck. This is my only condition for letting you go. You must promise me never to take the pendant off. And never tamper with it. Okay? Then I'm okay with you leaving. I think your camera and bag are still in your room. It's time to gather them up.
Time to leave.
I've lost so much. How could the world ask me to lose you too? Look at us. There we are. There we were. We'll always be right here on this beautiful morning.
Okay, you should get the home lever trophy at this point, and then we are now going to check out the journal for the first time. So on PlayStation at least,
a ritual with
hit
my
your
mom.
touchpad.
The moment has passed, but I'll record it in these pages for you, for the future.
So in every area in the game that we're coming across, there'll be a different page in the journal. And there's not a trophy for doing the keepsakes, but the more full the journal is, the more you have to share with other people. And the game wants you to put 5 things on each dual page here for each section. So for PlayStation, we're going to hit the square button. You can see it up to the left of keepsakes. So whatever you're playing on probably has the button up there. But we're going to hit square. And these are all the options that we have to choose from. So we can choose what we want to add to the journal. And then for PlayStation, I'm going to hit X. And then I can use the left stick to put it wherever I want. And press enter. And then it'll grow. And then we're going to place enough keepsakes to unlock an inspiration, which can then also go on these pages if we want. So we'll hit square again. And we'll choose like the pendant. You can choose whatever you want. Like it doesn't matter what it is. Square again. I'm going to hit Mr. Leto. And then you can also, using D-pad, make it larger or smaller or rotate it or, do stuff like that. So if you want to get all creative and stuff, press X. And I'll have a picture of Dad. And then eventually, as you go on, you'll fill in the quotes and the decorations in each section. You just don't have any for the goodbye ritual right now. So when you've placed, almost all pages are 5. I think there's one that has 6, but
I never knew
most
when
of
my
them
mom
are
would share
5.
a memory of Dad while cooking on a walk with no warning. It knocked the wind out of me. Rituals take this grief and give it a shape and a story. Filling in this journal is a ritual too, but for a loss that hasn't hit us yet.
Okay. Now, if you hit keepsakes, now things have been added. You can choose some of the memories that you talked about with Mom. I don't remember my grandmother, but I still feel her love, so you can like put that like right over here. Then if you hit L1, you go to the index. You see all of the solid black dots here? That means the page is complete. So whenever you open the journal, check out the index and see if there's any pages that are incomplete. And as we go down into
I've brought tools to
Caro,
record the sights and sounds of this season. I'll start by recording the only place I've ever known.
so we'll record. We'll hit R2 on the PlayStation. Let that record for a few seconds. And then stop. So now see how it says Caro Village, new page added. It will always say that when you're wherever you are. So like East Cemetery Path or Fruit Farm, new page added. Dig Site, new page added. So touchpad to open it up. And then if you go over to the index, you can see how Caro Village doesn't have a solid dot here. That's because the page is incomplete. So you'll go to that page. And you'll hit square. And then you can add the audio recording that you just added. So that's how you add things. Whether you take a picture or record a sound, it'll show up in its proper page section in the keepsakes page. So that's how you fill out your journal. Now we're going to take a picture of the plaza, which on PlayStation is square. We'll bring your camera up. So you can zoom a little with our L1, R1 if you want. Move over. You can change a filter. You can play around with it. No filter, high contrast. Crouch to get a lower shot. Play with the focus.
Last night, my friends wrote down their hopes for my trip and tied them to the branches of... Last night, there was a goodbye party here in the plaza. Everyone was so afraid for me. To understand that fear, to understand where I grew up, you have to know the man standing watch over the plaza, Dr. Fumio.
Now you can jog. So we're going to take a picture of him.
This is Dr. Fumio and his son. The statue isn't as old as it looks. The artist wore it down
So
to
we're gonna
give it a
select
feeling
that.
of ancientness and the authority that comes with it. Dr. Fumio and his son founded Caro back in 776. They live on through our traditions.
So sometimes there will be like a sub question in an area, such as who is Dr. Fumio, and you'll be required to find specific things to fill the pages. So in this instance, it's going to be the statue. Do an audio. This is the icon for audio, is the cassette tape. And then we're going to take 3 pictures of murals that are celebrating his work, and then we'll fill this page out. And then if you want to go back to the town itself of Caro Village, you just use the right stick to change pages. So we'll go to the keepsakes, and we'll add the picture of the tree that we just took. And we can add that in. I found that like once I'm about to sort of like finish an area is usually a good time to do the journal. I don't usually do it all one, like as I go along.
The tree. I'm not supposed to.
I tend to
read
do
them,
it near the end of each
but
section.
it might be good for you to have an example of one.
I hope she comes back and tells everyone it's safe to leave.
I can go against tradition a little for posterity.
So here's one of the murals.
Dr. Fumio said the dream sickness was caused by something very powerful. He wasn't able to cure it.
So see that picture, the picture of that automatically got added to the Fumio page and not the Caro Village page. Because see, it's not here, but it's on the Fumio page. So it'll, wherever you take the picture is the section that it'll end up in. So you're going to want to take like some pictures, some audio, something. Sometimes you can pick items up, but usually
in between, I need to leave.
You'll end up with more than you need because you only need 5 items to complete a page, and that will almost always be very easy to do. Here's another Dr. Fumio memory or
everything must be painful.
mural.
Dr. Fumio brought peace to so many people here.
And then his last mural is over here.
The elder sought out Dr. Fumio to cure her mother, who was suffering from time misperception.
Then we have an audio file for him, which is back over here. I could have gotten it earlier, I guess. So for audio, we're going to hit triangle.
This is a healing instrument created by Dr. Fumio. It draws on the pure mountain air.
Okay, square. We're going to select another one of the murals, and it'll snap to right there. The other mural, snap to, and then the audio file. So then this page is now complete.
Dr. Fumio was an important person, but we also just have a need to put a human face on events that are beyond our control. He may have felt just as scared and helpless as everyone else.
So if we wanted to, we could add a quote. Had a mission that was ambitious. Or we can add extra decorations if we want. But the page is complete, so adding this extra stuff is just cosmetic.
Smells like an old man's toes dipped in cinnamon.
Disgusting.
I had to drink this gross potion last night. Like my pendant, it's supposed to protect my brain.
Okay, so let's finish up Caro Village. And just because these are the ones I have doesn't mean they're the only ones available for the page. You can continue to look around.
A village that was created as a place to heal. Is that where my instinct to try to help comes from? It's so strange to imagine I'll be shaped by places and people I haven't met yet. So strange to imagine that I might feel at home somewhere else.
Nice if you're a child or an old person. Okay, so back on the index, you can see all of the pages are currently completed because they have a solid black dot next to them. Okay, let's move on. And obviously you can spend more time here if you want. There's a bunch of other things you can do.
Pate loves fish, even though nobody here has ever seen one.
That's something you could put in your journal. one good thing, like, if you're not sure entirely where you are and what it is that, like, where you are for on the map or anything like that, is you can take a picture,
I go fishing here
and
with
whatever
my best
category
friend
it puts
Pate,
it in, they'll tell you where it
even
is.
though
So
there's
it's a
nothing to
little
catch.
you can
We
do.
both appreciate the silence.
See that we're still in the village because that's the group it put the photo that you just took in. So that's a good way, especially when we get to like Ting Valley. Some things tend to overlap a little on the edges, so you can always just take a picture so you can sort of tell where you are.
Caro village was founded during the modernity. Much later, Dr. Fumio arrived and remade it in his image. This flower means you're in my thoughts. The morning after the search was called off for Dad, our doorstep was covered in them.
Okay, you should get the outside World Seer trophy. I think right around here. I don't remember the exact point when it popped up.
Yes.
Okay. How to leave home for my daughter. Find a sacred square of earth. Lay down so you have the dirt at your back. Close your eyes. Close everything. Do you see for yourself? You see for the dead, for the unborn. Do you listen for yourself? You listen for the dead, for the unborn. Your ancestors are in that dirt. All the living and all the dead are holding you up. Now, stand. They're still there, aren't they? It's time to move, to entangle yourself everywhere with everyone. So the next time you lay down in the dirt, you will have so much more to tell them.
Sometimes there's stuff you can interact with.
Pate fixed up 3 bikes instead of 1.
Let's go with yellow. Okay, now for PlayStation, we're going to mount the bike using R2. And then we're going to alternate L2, R2 until she gets going. And then you just need the left stick. Now the controls in the game will tell you brake is R1. But I tend to just hit circle and then she just gets off. And then you hit it again and she stops touching the bike. And then one of the cool features about this game is if you're off wandering around and then all of a sudden you realize the bike is like way the heck back, all you have to do is retrieve bicycle and automatically she'll be in the same place she was 2 seconds ago, but she'll have the bike with her. So that's really nice. If you're on a PlayStation 5, the tension in L2, R2 will dissipate when you don't need to press them anymore. I don't know what it feels like on a 4. But I'm assuming it's vaguely similar. Or it might not be, I don't know. But if she's moving along, then you don't need to do it.